Hey everybody, I'm Molly Wood from CNET.com here at South by Southwest 2012. We're in our fabulous Second Market Recovery Lounge, where we have just given Dave Morin, the CEO of Path, a nice big cup of Blue Bottle coffee.
It's the best idea I've seen yet at South by, so thank you.
It's like survival. It's survival technique.
Yeah, South by does that to you, so I'm happy you guys brought the San Francisco coffee out here.
So let's back all the way up for the people who don't know what
Sure.
Path is. There may not be that many, but you never know.
Yep.
What is the deal with Path?
So at Path, we are creating sort of a modern journal, and the idea is that you sort of capture the experiences and special moments in your life, and then you can share them with your close friends and family. So we're very focused on family and making it a very intimate place, a very trusted place to connect with less people, not more,
Right.
and share more often.
And you do have some interoperability with
Yep.
Facebook, right?
Yep. Yeah, we interop really well actually with Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, and Tumblr.
So you have a new release, which adds kind of some cool new features, music match, that
Yep.
kind of thing. But you've said that encryption of user data, because privacy is kind of,
Yep.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
now
it's a
Path
big
privacy
deal.
seem to go together.
Yep.
Encryption is coming later. Why
Yeah,
is-
so in our next release, so this is 2.1,
Right.
we're doing a couple of 2.1, 2.2 releases, but when we went through this interesting situation where we found that users wanted us to take a different approach to how we help them find their friends on Path. And what's been interesting is that people basically much more interested in how applications work on their mobile phones. I think much more so even than the world of computers and the web.
So initially, you were not uploading or storing any user data before you started uploading the address books. What made you decide to
I think it depends
do
on
that?
which type of data you're talking about. You
Sure.
know, with Path, when we think of privacy, we think of this experience that we've created for people. We've created this experience where only you can contribute to your Path. When you post, whether it's a thought or a photo, to Path, we use SSL to transmit the data.
Right.
We store it, using very advanced database technology. We use Mongo for everything.
How long do you store address book information?
We actually store it in perpetuity now, but the
Do
opt-in.
you also, if you deactivate your account, is that information deleted?
Yeah, so we offer both deactivation and deletion. So one of the things from working at Facebook for years that I found, or that we found, I should say, is that users sometimes will ask to deactivate their account, sometimes they'll ask to delete it, sometimes they want it back after it's been deleted. So we offer two-step, which is a really important thing to offer for social systems, I think, because I'll tell you, we've already had people that asked to delete and then wanted it back, and so offering the two-step is really important, I think. So
What's the first step?
just
Because I thought
deactivation.
deactivate is
Yeah,
the first
so
step, right?
deactivate means you deactivate it, that you can get it back. Deletion means the data's gone, you're going to have to start over. So, but I think it's important to offer the user control and do both.
So what happened to, I'm just curious about this. You said that you deleted the user data
Yep.
from address books you have
Yep.
data before, but if those people are active users, are they then kind of grandfathered into like a super private experience, or did you go back then and ask them if they wanted to re-upload?
We just went back in and asked them if they wanted to re-upload. So all of the data that we had prior, we deleted. It was pretty interesting watching the number go to zero. But now, we've had a large percentage of the users have chosen to opt in. So I think that's a good thing.
Were you surprised to discover, I think, you talk about the attitude toward the mobile usage, and I think that phone is it's an intimate device.
Yeah.
Were you surprised though because it seemed like it kind of, you became the poster app for it, but you've said many times a lot of other apps do this.
I don't know if I was surprised. I think the intensity was obviously very intense, but the reality is that mobile is a pretty new thing. It's only been a couple of years into some of the more advanced social experiences that have been created. Us and Instagram and Foursquare, and a lot of these experiences are 2 to 3 years old, if at most. And so privacy in a mobile context, I think, is still something that there needs to be a lot of education around, and a lot of interesting sort of conversations around what are the best practices, what are the ways that consumers want this to be handled. And I think also there's a genuine interest amongst consumers around how are these applications built,
Right.
you know?
Do you think one of the things that's kicked off a little bit among the techno journalism community, at least, was a discussion of whether there is a culture of respecting user privacy in Silicon Valley? And because there's a natural tension, possibly, between the data collection that's necessary to create the experience that you want and the user's sense of their own privacy, do you think app developers are habitually kind of creating apps that don't necessarily put privacy first?
Most people doing the most sophisticated social experiences certainly put privacy first. I think the challenge comes when you are developing a new experience or a new social context, right? So for us, we're developing this new context, which I actually think hasn't existed on the internet yet, where it's an intensely personal sharing experience. It's meant to be very private. It's meant to be a place where you can share thoughts which you might not share in other places. I think you end up, when you're developing a social experience especially, you end up in this situation where you're both defining social norms and sort of trying to figure out where they are and what consumers want and are comfortable with, all sort of in real time. And so I think the best thing that you can do is be very transparent about what you're trying to do. And I think if you look at any of the big apps, the Facebooks, the Foursquares, the Instagrams, everyone is trying to build wonderful experiences for people. And I don't think anyone has a direct disrespect for anybody's privacy. It's mostly that we're all just innovating and trying to create new experiences. Yeah.
So you have a new partnership,
Yep.
just announced at South by with Nike. Tell us what is next for Path.
The first thing that we're releasing is an integration with the Nike Plus Running application, and we're doing some fun, unique things where when you go out for a run, we update your path in a very contextual way, saying Dave is going for a run through the rain in Austin, and then your friends can respond to that, and when they do respond, you get cheers in your headphones.
Really?
Yeah, and then when the run is over, we update your path with a beautiful map which shows the route of your run, your fastest pace, and it actually shows the faces of your friends along the run as they cheered you on. So that's the first thing. The second thing we're rolling out in a couple of weeks is integration with the Nike Fuel Band.
Oh.
So the Fuel Band is a new gadget, new device, wearable computer that Nike just released just a couple of weeks ago, actually, which basically tracks your everyday activity, the number of steps that you take, the amount of time that you're active.
Like the up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it translates it into what they call a fuel score.
I gotta ask too before I let you go, what's with the sleep thing? I mean, I'm weirdly addicted to the sleep thing, but like, where did that come from?
That's a big part of people's day, and there's this clear trend towards capturing more data about sleep, and so we sort of just put a tiny, dip toe in our water there,
Right.
around, building this kind of beautiful experience for going to sleep, and we added some utility to it so that it turns off the notifications and it puts the application to sleep. It also sort of tells you how long you've been asleep, and we're going to do some fun things with visualizations around it in the future, but it makes it so that, as we work with more companies in the health space, whether it's Jawbone or other people that are interested in sleep, we can that'll become a big piece of it. And the good news is that it's actually the third most popular type of content on Path.
At first I saw it and I was like, really? I'm gonna tell it I'm asleep? I tell it I'm asleep all the time. I can't stop. And so I realized, just as a feature suggestion, you need a nap.
We hear that. We do need the nap
It's
button.
been nagging me about how I only got an hour of sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was a great nap.
That was a
Don't
good nap.
be-
We'll do the nap feature.
Okay, good.
Just for you.
All right, I appreciate
Cool,
that.
yeah.
All right, well, good luck at South by Southwest.
you.
Thanks for coming to talk to us. You can find this interview and all of the rest of our interviews from South by 2012 at cnettv.com.